Hello. Hello. All right. Is my microphone? Oh, let me know, Dina, if you can hear me okay. Um, Welcome. Hopefully my microphone is working. Uh, Welcome to Unwrapped. I'm Sari Kimbell. I'm the creator of Food Business Success, and I help people start and grow a packaged food business. And I'm just hoping my microphone little buttons aren't showing up. So I'm just going to see if I can check this really quick. Of course, I think there's a place. Let me know if you guys can't hear me, so I can get that fixed. Okay, great. Thank you, Dina. I get nervous after one time it happened. Anyway, hi, welcome. I'm Sari. This is Unwrapped, and we are talking about whether you need to raise your price and how to do it well, how to do it in the best way possible. It's not fun to do, but sometimes it is necessary. So, um, let's talk about why you might need to raise your price, right? We all know, I'm guessing you have noticed that prices have been going up because of supply chain issues. This is just what's happening out in the world during COVID, recovering from COVID, wherever you think we're at in this whole thing. We are just seeing and I did a unwrap video on this a couple of weeks ago, so you can definitely go check out that video as well about getting ahead of supply chain issues. But we're seeing supply chain issues from transportation, labor shortages, labor going up, and then ingredients costs going up. So packaging potentially going up, packaging shortages. So lots of things that are affecting what's going into your cost of goods sold, right? And so it could also be your labor. It could be a co-packer's labor. It's kind of a mess right now. So the first thing is if you're realizing that I might need to do a price increase. Like my co-packer just told me that they're raising prices, across the board, or I just noticed that this packaging went up by 10% or 15%. The first thing is let's just make it like a real, like it's just a normal thing. Let's just normalize it. I love Brene Brown. She has a great podcast on Unwrapped called FFTs. The clean version is TFTs, which stand for tough first times. I don't know about you, but I've never been through a global pandemic and all of the, the outcomes of this, the consequences, the sort of, the trickling down effect. And neither of you, I'm guessing. So this is a first time for all of us. And you raising your prices now would certainly, you are not the first people to do that, the first brand to do that. Everyone is having to do it. And unfortunately, of course, it does affect the consumer. I don't know why am I, one second. All right. So I don't know why it, unfortunately, it does affect our consumer. It affects you when you go to a grocery shop. However, you're not a nonprofit. So you as a business need to be profitable. Otherwise, this is just an expensive hobby, right? So if you're kind of wondering, if you have a gut feeling, then the first thing, we're going to just normalize it. This is a terrible first time. We're trying to figure it out. It's not fun for anyone. Prices are going up all across the board. You're not the first. But you really need to dig in and know what your true cost of goods sold. Please, 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 before you go and do any kind of price increase, please go back and let's dig in and make sure, let's check our ingredient costs. Let's check our packaging. Let's check the labor. Let's check the tolling costs from a co-packer. And I want to highly encourage, if you don't know how to do this or you're not sure if you have done it correctly, to get the pricing for profit worksheet. Dina's going to drop that into the comments here. It's a very inexpensive workshop I did with Shannon Roddy. And so the first part is me going over the cost of goods sold, pricing for profit worksheet, and all of your margins and all the things that you need to consider when you are looking at your cost of goods sold. It is the best 45 minutes you can watch as a packaged food business entrepreneur. So definitely go and get that tool. But you really want to understand what your margins are, what your new cost is. The thing that we want to avoid is just sort of willy-nilly being like, well, I'll just go ahead and raise it X amount, 50 cents. And then you were going to have to do another one and then another one. That's when it becomes not cool, right? So especially when you're dealing with for consumers and buyers, right? They don't like getting multiple increases, but this is the time that you can go ahead and do that. Everyone else is doing it as well. It's not a big shock. But let's make sure that we're as much as possible anticipating like what all the cost increases might be. Let's look at some hypotheticals. Maybe contact your co-packer and talk about, next year's, like anything that you should be expecting, or, your kitchen. Are there going to be price increases? Like really try to understand what might happen, at least in the first quarter of next year. And that way you can make the best guess possible. The thing that you don't want to do is under raise it and then have to keep going back and like a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Thanks, Dina, for doing that. So that's one of the big things. Like we got to put on our CEO hat for our business, and we have to know our numbers. You got to know your numbers. So do that first before you do anything else. Then let's decide on the price. I've done this with a lot of clients lately. A lot of my business coaching clients, we are looking at that and we are doing price increases. So it is happening for many people. And the thing that I can tell you is if you are in wholesale, you want to go ahead and ideally give them, I would say, a minimum of 2 weeks notice, potentially, ideally, like 30-day notice to let them know that the price is going to increase. You don't need to put all this extra detail about why in there. You can just say something very simple like due to labor costs and ingredient costs and et cetera, right? Like it's happening for everybody. You're not the first one. Due to all these things that you are having to do a price increase effective X date, and then ask them to reply. So if you're emailing them this letter, this email, ask them to reply, and that way to confirm with you that they did receive it. The last thing you want to have happen is you drop off the product at that local store and they're like shocked, right? They're like, what? I didn't know about this. Now, of course, you communicated it, but buyers are very busy. This is a very busy time of year with the holidays. So it's highly unlikely they'll just like see it and skim it and forget about it. And so if you don't ask them to reply by a certain date. And then if you don't hear back, then follow up and send another email. Just want to be sure that you saw this. If you're in with a larger grocery store like Whole Foods, you would need to go and update your VIP cost files. So you really want to think through where are all the places that I need to change these prices. Is it just wholesale? Is it direct to consumer? Where is that at, right? Do I need to update farmers market signage? Do I need to update my website? Is Amazon or Fair? Like think through all of the places. And this is such a good exercise. I had a client that we're doing this and she's like, I realize that I don't have a good database for all of my customers. Some of them are in text messages and some of them are in emails and some of them are phone calls. So they're taking this opportunity to create a spreadsheet that is going to have all the contact information and how they communicate. And we're going to document the date that this email was sent and whether they heard back, right? So we're going to start putting in some of those processes and systems for communicating with wholesale buyers. So that's super important that you're over communicating with them. If you want to, I don't know that I would recommend putting something on your website that you're, telling customers that you're raising your price. I certainly am seeing things around shipping and letting people know that there may be shipping delays. Um, so over communicating that on your website, but I don't know that I would necessarily be like, hey, customer who's never met me, like buying my product online. We just did a price increase. Like it is what it is, and just go ahead and do it. You might want to run some kind of email promotion that's like, get these before prices go up or something like that, or just do the beginning of the year, always a good time to, if you're going to do a price increase, just doing it at the beginning of the year. But your strategy, when's the best time. The client that we were working through this, they have a product that is really good for holidays. And so we decided to do it now because otherwise they're going to be losing money potentially, but with big holiday sales. So we need to do it now. For others of you, it might make sense to wait until you have that nice break of 2022. All right, that is what I have for you guys today. That is all about raising your prices. It is happening across the board in all industries, but definitely in food, where we're seeing a lot of supply chain disruptions. Labor market is really tight. So it's not a shock to people, but there is a right way to do it. And first, you need to make sure you are really understand your cost of goods sold and those margins to make good decisions with. So that link for the Pricing for Profit workshop is in the comments. And I hope you guys like this video. I hope it was helpful. Please subscribe, like this video, leave a comment. I would love to know what questions you have about raising your prices. And if there's anything that I didn't answer here, go ahead and leave it in the comments. All right. If you are interested in joining Food Business Success, if you're feeling the nudge, you think you want some help, some support, I do want to let you know that I am closing the doors for 2021 at the end of November. So on November 30th, that's the last day that you can get into Food Business Success in 2021. So we will not open again until later in 2022. So if you think that you are going to go after your dream, your goal of starting or growing your packaged food business, go and check out foodbizsuccess.com, apply, and then you'll be able to sign up. We changed the whole program. It's now a monthly low cost membership, so you can get in and get to work. And we're going to do a really special goal setting workshop that's all about getting you set up for success so you can hit the ground running at the 1st of January and not be behind. You don't want to start in January. You want to have a plan to get going and get off and running. So come join us, come join me, come join Dina inside Food Business Success. I would love to see you in there. All right. Thanks so much for joining me today. Until next time, have an amazing week.